Welcome to the Missouri Liberty Alliance. Today is Tuesday, the 21st of September in the year 2021. Hey gang, I wanted to talk about a few things. First off, to let you know where the state of things are in the state of Missouri. The state of Missouri. In regards to beer flu and serum mandates coming from OSHA. We do not have our special session at this time. There's a lot of folks up in Jefferson City that are very much for having a special or emergency session, but they want to see the language coming out of OSHA first so they know how to deal with it specifically, precision. And that may or may not be the right thing to do, but it probably is. The problem is we have a president that literally wants to do away with the Constitution of the United States. He's not saying so openly. It's under the guise of the pandemic. You need to give up your rights here because we have a pandemic. There's warnings about that from the Founding Fathers, but that aside, Joe Biden and any other politician that says we need to do mandates, we need to take away people's rights temporarily so we can deal, with a, national security issue, a pandemic issue, they should just literally announce that they are for communism or totalitarianism or this or that or the other thing, because this is very specific. We're going to talk about the First Amendment, we're going to talk about the 14th Amendment, we're going to talk about a couple of other things too, but the right of association is a very big part of this. So what can you do right now until we have language, which may or may not even come from OSHA? Some folks think that Joe Biden was bluffing. So, but the problem is that scared a lot of people and into trying to do, some kind of preemptive action. So maybe that was us trying to show our hand. What are we going to do to nullify OSHA? What is the state of Missouri going to do? What is the state of, Wyoming going to do? What's California going to do? I mean, is a trial balloon? I don't know. But let's talk about the First Amendment real quick here, because I want to give you guys a tool. And a talking point, if you will, to bolster your argument or debate with friends, family, or even the workplace. Let's talk about the First Amendment. It goes as follows. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging freedom of speech, or of the press, or the right of the people to peaceably assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. Okay, that's pretty specific. It's getting into basically your freedom of choice. Now that's something that can be brought up with precedents, but let's talk about right of association, and that kind of bridges the First and 14th Amendments. And guys, I'm getting to a point here, so forgive me, I'm almost there. Let's read a little bit. It is beyond debate that freedom to engage in association for the advancement of beliefs, ideas, is an inseparable aspect of the liberty assured by a due process clause of the 14th Amendment, which embraces freedom of speech, which is in the First Amendment. Of course, it is immaterial whether the beliefs sought to be advanced by association pertain to political, economic, religious, or cultural matters. You see, I have highlighted economic. Economic association, through right of association, is your relationship with your employer. So if the government wants to put out an edict to businesses saying we get to choose who you associate with, that is a violation of the First and 14th Amendment. And also we'll get into the Fourth Amendment on another podcast, how basically having the serum card that you have to present for proof of being serumized, that's a violation of the Fourth Amendment. And I'll go on to that, like I said, in another podcast. But the point is very plain. It's a violation of the Constitution. It's a violation of the amendments. It's a violation of God's law / natural law. So the argument is as such. You go to your employer and they say, well, I'm sorry, you've chosen not to serumize, so, you have to leave now. You can't be a part of this company anymore. And you basically hold your ground. You make them fire you because now you have redress, because they're in violation of your First Amendment right, 14th Amendment right, it'll be Fourth Amendment right too, and a whole feces ton of civil law. So this is blatantly illegal. And like I said, that's why when politicians announce they are for the mandates, they're basically saying they're against your rights that are given to you by God. These are the people who should not be in office, and we can address that here with the 14th Amendment. So we'll hit that real quick. And as opposed to going through the whole thing, I'm just going to talk about Section 3. It goes as follows. No person shall be a senator or representative in Congress or elector of president or vice president or hold any office, civil, military, under the United States or under any state who, having previously taken an oath as a member of Congress or as an officer of the United States or as a member of any state legislature or as an executive or judicial officer of any state to support the Constitution of the United States shall have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same. What is the same? The same is the Constitution of the United States, the constitutional people running government, and basically God's law, natural law. So let me finish it off. Or given aid or comfort to enemies thereof, but Congress may vote by 2/3 of each house to remove such disability. So what this is saying is those people that are against your rights, that hold office, that swore an oath to uphold your rights, are actually in violation, and they're engaged in insurrection and rebellion. So an important point here. So we need to keep that point open always, always, because those who are for mandates, unfortunately, you fall into the camp of being against the people's rights. Once again, enshrined in the Constitution, guaranteed in the Constitution, given to us by God. So the choice is very simple. Do you literally have a right of freedom of choice? And the answer is yes, you do. And that choice was given to you by God. This is not only in the Constitution, it's also in the Bible. But if people who don't believe in God, I understand, you can say natural law instead. The universe gave you those rights. The right to self-defense, the right to freedom of choice, the right to exercise religion. All that stuff, comes from the universe, from God, from nature, whatever you want to say. But the fact is, it's enshrined in the Constitution as a natural right, as a God-given right. So those who want to take those away from you literally are putting government above God. That's exactly what they do in communism. I mean, that is the number one tenet of communism. So we have to remember this. Those who literally are wanting to, this is why it's very interesting to see. I want to deal with people as individuals, not as a group. I don't want labels involved, because when I went up to Jefferson City, there were some Democrats that definitely wanted to partake, but they had very specific reasons why they didn't, and they had nothing to do with taking away people's rights. Some of them wanted to wait for the language to come out from OSHA. Others might have been worried about whether or not they could even be reelected. That's another issue all by itself, but also too, I understand that. But I'm letting you know that there are reasons why some politicians don't want to get on board with this yet. Trust me, when and if there's language coming out from OSHA, you're going to see a lot of Democrats popping out of the woodwork that actually want to shut this down. So my advice to everyone, including folks that are in the medical industry, hold your ground. Do not quit. Make them fire you because you actually have a court case against them. And it's clearly a violation of your civil rights, of a whole bunch of amendments. And, you could probably argue that very, very easily in court. There is no provision within the Constitution or in any of the amendments that they can suspend your rights literally for a perceived pandemic. Now, there is martial law. That's another matter altogether we'll get into another time. But medical martial law isn't there. Okay, let's talk a little bit about St. Louis. Sam Page is in the news again. There is no mask mandate in St. Louis County. Attorney General announces victory in lawsuit. Well, what's this about? Well, this is about Sam Page, who is the director of St. Louis County. Let me read. Missouri Attorney General Eric Schmidt is claiming another victory in his lawsuit filed against St. Louis County over I said the M word, face diaper mandates. The St. Louis County Court Judge Nellie Roboto, forgive me if I'm slaughtering your name, denied the motion by St. Louis County Executive Dr. Sam Page to have the lawsuit dismissed. The judge also denied the motion to dissolve preliminary injunction and a motion to stay discovery. Schmidt sued the St. Louis County over its mass mandate issued by Page in July. And so this really comes down, and by the way, I'll link everything down below as I always do. This comes down to a couple of things. First off, there was a law passed in the state of Missouri that an officer, of some sort, whether it be county or city, cannot issue an edict unilaterally to actually enforce or start some sort of mandate without a vote of the council they belong to. Now, in the case of Sam Page, he actually is in a county commission or a county council. Now, he runs it, but he has to have the support of the council, and the council voted him down when he wanted to do his face diaper mandate. They said no. He says, well, I'm doing it anyway. Well, it's a clear violation of Missouri law. This is a new law we have here. We're not even talking about the First Amendment stuff and the 14th Amendment stuff I was talking about earlier. We're talking specifically about a Missouri law stating that if there's to be a mandate, by a city or by a county, that it has to be by vote. It can't be a unilateral action by one person. So this is what he's in violation of. Now, Springfield tried to do the same thing, and I'm not going to get into all the mechanics of that or even the names, but there was a threat of it, and then suddenly when this particular person on the Springfield City Council realized that if he did that mandate, which he said he would do, that he would be in violation of Missouri law. So it was just dropped. He never even announced that the mandate, the face diaper mandate he was trying to do, just, was it about 2, 3, 4 months ago? It never happened, but the press went silent, everyone went silent. It's because it's against the law in Missouri. We actually have a law for that now. So just to let you guys know, there is a hearing set for the lawsuit on October 18th at 10 a.m. So at any rate, Sam Page presses on, trying to get his face diaper mandate done. So there is yet another court hearing. So I will keep you guys updated on this, but this is a really big win, actually. This is why we're doing the laws we're doing in the state of Missouri, to stop this nonsense without having to go to, blatant disobedience of the law. And we'll talk about that another time, because there's a time and a place for everything, and the time for that may be coming if we can't get certain actions done. Okay, next bit of news. We're on Rumble. All right, yeah, big news, gang. I hear the cheering of the crowd right now. This is important, and I'll tell you why in a second here, but right now I'm in the process of uploading all of our content from YouTube onto Rumble. So this is a very lengthy, time-consuming process, but it is worthwhile, and it is worthy of the time. Now, the reason we're doing this is because on YouTube, they have very specific rules having to do with face diapers and serums. And even everything surrounding those topics is very difficult to talk about because they actually have rules against it. So we need a platform that we can live stream on, where we don't have to watch our language and use code words, and then avoid certain topics, subjects, and other important things because of this. So Rumble is and then Odyssey too. But at any rate, I want to let you guys know we're on Rumble now. So Rumble away, guys. There'll be the link right down below in the description section to our Rumble account. And then also, the web page is getting a facelift as we speak right now. Want to give a special shout out and my undying gratitude to Kennedy. You know who you are. Thank you very, very much. So at any rate, it is getting updated. Now, some of the information may still be incorrect. This is a little bit of a facelift, just to make it more aesthetically pleasing and have it make a little more sense. But look at the, if you scroll down just a little bit, the email form is still there. Guys, that's important. Remember now, this is how we're sending out information about live streams, and eventually we'll be sending out data that is needed to be passed out faster than we can possibly do a live stream when the legislative season begins, or even possibly even before then. So this is an important aspect of what we do, is actually having an email blast list. So please consider, if you've not done this before, or if you're currently not receiving emails from us, please consider filling out this information. We're not selling it. We're not giving it away. This is literally for us to get out timely information. So that's about all I have for now, and I promised I was going to try and keep it short, so I'll wrap it up here. More updates to be coming very, very soon. Thank you very much for spending a few minutes of your day with the Missouri Liberty Alliance. You guys all have a wonderful day. May God bless you all. Take care, gang.